Arman Qureshi loved his hometown Srinagar. The city was in his blood. He was a journalist, young and hungry for the truth. He worked for a local newspaper, the Kashmir Times. His stories were bold. He wrote about daily life, about the people, but his real passion was politics. One evening, after a long day, he decided to take a shortcut home. The alleyway was dark and deserted. He heard voices. They were muffled, but he recognized one. It was Irfan Khan, a prominent politician. Curiosity got the better of him. He peeked through a broken window. Inside, a group of men sat around a table. Khan was speaking in hushed tones. Arman pulled out his phone. He started recording, his heart pounding in his chest. The meeting was intense. Khan spoke about a plan to rig the upcoming elections. Their words were chilling. Arman's hands trembled. He knew he shouldn't be there, but he couldn't tear himself away. As he continued recording, his foot slipped. A loose brick tumbled from under his foot. The sound echoed in the silence. The men in the room stopped talking. They turned towards the window. Arman's heart skipped a beat. He ran. He ran faster than he ever had. The alley seemed longer, darker. He could hear footsteps behind him. They were getting closer. He had stumbled upon a dangerous secret, and now they were after him. Arman had to disappear. He couldn't go home. They would be looking for him there. He grabbed his laptop, his phone with the recording, and fled. He spent the night at a friend's place, his mind racing. He knew he had something big. Evidence that could expose a deep-rooted conspiracy. But revealing it would be dangerous. He was up against powerful people who wouldn't hesitate to silence him. He moved from one safe house to another. He was always looking over his shoulder. He couldn't trust anyone. Fear became his constant companion. He had to get the word out. But how? Days turned into a blur of anxiety and fear. Arman reached out to an old contact, a journalist working with an international news agency. He shared his story, the recording. His contact was skeptical at first, but the evidence was compelling. The news agency decided to investigate. They found evidence corroborating Arman's story. The conspiracy ran deeper than anyone imagined. Arman felt a glimmer of hope, but he knew the danger was far from over. The news agency decided to release the story. They chose a date, a time. The countdown had begun. Arman waited with bated breath. His life depended on this. The day arrived. The news broke like a storm. The recording, played on every news channel, sent shockwaves through the nation. People were outraged. Protests erupted in the streets. The government was under immense pressure. The accused politicians denied everything. But the evidence was overwhelming. Investigations were launched. Arrests were made. Arman had risked everything. But he had brought the truth to light. He emerged from hiding, a hero. He had single-handedly exposed a conspiracy that could have shaken the very foundation of their democracy. He knew there would be consequences. But he was ready. He had faced his fears and emerged victorious. He was a journalist. And this was his story.